So let's read problem number 3. Problem number 3 asks us to convert the following. We're told, you guys, for problem number 3, we're asked to solve or convert, it looks like, what is that, 40 million bytes to megabytes. And then we're asked to solve 0.5722 milliliters to liters. Then we're asked to solve 2.684 meters to centimeters, and then 5,500 bucks to kilobucks. So we might have to, I thought that last one was kind of funny. We might have to look some stuff up to get that done. So let's start with problem number 1. So, or problem number 3, or part A, I guess is the first question is what I meant to say. So for 3A, let me write these down. For A, I need to do 40,000 or 40 million bytes to megabytes. And so here we go. I've got 40,000 bytes. Now, does anybody in here know what mega means?
10 to the 6th power.
It means 10 to the 6th. Right? Mega means 10 to the 6th. And so the easiest way to convert things is I need to figure out how many bytes are in 1 megabyte. Okay? And so there's 10 to the 6th. Now what that means is that if I have 10 to the 6 bytes, it's equal to 1 megabyte. Right? And that's you know, when you have a flash drive and they say it's an 8 megabyte or now we do gigabytes, right? Giga means 10 to a larger number. So now that I've written it this way, there's this very specific reason why Mr. Adams wrote it this way, is because if I think of this as being 40 million bytes over 1, and I multiply it by the conversion ratio, and the conversion ratio is set up in a way where the bytes will cancel with the bytes, right? Just like when we have exponents, or when we have variables on top of a fraction, if I have an x on the top and an x on the bottom, x divided by x equals 1. Well, bytes divided by bytes equals 1. So really, I have 40 million divided by 10 to the 6th. Now, 10 to the 6th is really 1 followed by 6 zeros. Did you guys know that?
Yeah.
And I have my megabytes, because bytes cancel, but the megabytes don't go away. So 40 million times 1 megabyte is 40 million megabytes. 1 times 10 to the 6th is 1 followed by 6 zeros. Now if I take this 0, cancel with this one, 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 what am I left with? 40 megabytes. What? That's it. That's the answer. Any questions? All right. Let's do part B. So now I got to come back in here and we'll pull up that problem again. And the next one is I need to convert 0.5722 milliliters to something liters. Okay? So when I do that, how many liters, or wait, let me rephrase that. How many milliliters are in a liter? So I need to think, there's 1,000 milliliters, and that's equal to 1 liter, right? So now I can write this as a fraction. I could write 1 liter on top and 1,000 milliliters on the bottom. Let's write that out. I could write it like 1,000 milliliters on top and 1 liter on the bottom, or I can write my conversion ratio like 1 liter over 1,000 milliliters, right? Because a ratio means that we're comparing equivalent values. Which one of these will I choose? Do I choose this one or this one?
The first one.
Choose the first one? Okay, why would we choose the second one? So it cancels. I want that milliliters to go on the bottom so they'll cancel. So that leaves me with 1 on the top. So what I really end up with is, this is 10 to the third, right? So I could say 0.5722 all over 1,000. And if you plug that in a calculator, what you'll end up with is you're just going to move the decimal over a lot, okay? But I could take this, which is, in the liters goes on top here. I could say let's slide this down a little bit. I could say 0.722, or if I move this decimal 1 spot to the right, what would that be if I wrote that in scientific notation? Yeah, it'd be times 10 to the negative 1, right? Is that right? Now, what do I write down here on the bottom? Instead of 1,000, because right here I have 1,000, couldn't I write that as 10 to the positive 3? Liters. Now we're going to do something a little different. Usually in algebra, what do we like to do? Yeah, in algebra, usually what we like to do is get rid of the negative exponent, but I just want this written as one number. I don't want it written as a fraction. So I'm going to have to move this up to the top, right? So if I subtract a power of 3 here, then I have to subtract a power of 3 here, correct? So then my final answer is going to be 5.722 times 10 to the negative 4 liters. Does that make sense? Okay. Any questions? So this is my final answer. All right, let's go to the next one. So let's look at part C of this one problem. Part C of number 3 says that we want to convert 2.684 meters to centimeters. Okay, I think we can do that. Let's try it. So I have 2.4 meters times some sort of conversion ratio, and that conversion ratio is going to be, we want the final answer in centimeters, right? So that means, how many centimeters are in a meter? 100. So I could write it as 100 centimeters over 1 meter, or I could write it as 1 meter over 100 centimeters. Which one would we choose? Which one? The first one? How come? Because I'll cancel out the meters. So if I cancel out the meters here, cancel them out here, when I multiply that by 100, I really move the decimal 2 places, so I'm going to say 268.4 centimeters. Okay? And now the next one is kind of funny. I don't need to pull it back up, but it says we have 5,500 bucks. I wonder if they're referring to money or deer. Probably money, right? Probably money. I just get a kick out of the fact, were you making like antlers over there? Is that what you're doing? You're just stretching? I looked up, I thought she was doing this. But we want to convert this to kilobucks. So kilo means what?
10 to the third.
10 to the third. So I'm going to have 1 0 raised to the third bucks. is equal to 1 kilobuck. So that means I can have 10 to the third bucks over 1 kilobuck. And it's a capital letter K. Or I could write that as 1 kilobuck to 10 to the third bucks. So now, what do I put here? Which one do I choose? The first one or the second one? How come? I want bucks to cancel out, right? So if I take and cancel that, what I end up with is 5, if I multiply it straight through, and I'm writing some extra steps, 5,000 kilobucks over 10 to the 3, right? And so then, because the bucks cancel, right? 5,500 times 1 K bucks is 5,500 K bucks. And then the bucks cancel, so I really have like 1 times 10 to the third, so I'm just left with that. 10, when you divide by 10 to the third, isn't that the same as moving the decimal 3 spaces? Yeah? So I'm going to have 5.5 kilobucks. Any questions?